Okay, today we're going to do a little bit of work here. This is one of the Timber Tough log sawing jigs. We've got it fastened to the chainsaw here. We've got it on a board that we're going to use as a guide. And we're going to square off this piece of hardwood log. We're going to make some parts for a logging sled here. But I just want to talk about this jig for a little bit. Picked this up off Amazon. I forget, I think it was around probably $40, $42. This just clamps on the bar of the saw there with 3 set screws. Not a high-tech thing. And of course the chainsaw just pivots. As you can see, the jig has the fastening attachment there, pivots to allowing the bar to go down into the wood. Now, these jigs work best if you have a ripping chain. We don't. We just want a few timbers squared out here today, fixing up a logging sled, and so we're going to use just a regular chain on this. One important thing about these jigs is when you fasten them to the log for your first cut, you have to make sure that your board is fastened on in such a way that the board is going to set flat to the log. Now with the curvature of that log, if I just put that board on there without those shim pieces on the side, that board would have a tendency to flex back and forth as we're running the saw down it. So I put these 2 shims in the side here. This will keep the guide board set flat and steady. That's important if you want to get a straight cut and you want to prevent your saw from being pinched up in the log. So we've got those 2 cleats in there. They're going to just steady that. Now the next thing with these, any of these chainsaw mills, use a saw with enough power to do the job. This one here it's a Steel MS500i. This is the new version that's about 82 cc. Fuel injected saw actually, and this one is quite costly. I think this saw with the 20 or 24 inch bar, whatever we've got there, I think this saw was somewhere in the vicinity of $2,000 Canadian money. In my estimation, worth every cent. This saw has all kinds of power, and it just gets the job done. So if you're doing anything sawing hardwood, especially with these chainsaw mills, make sure you've got enough power to do the job. Otherwise, you can overheat the chainsaw quite quickly. I had the Alaskan sawmill. I've had the Gransburg beam machine, and I always made sure that I run them on fairly good saws, powerful saws, and that way you're not overtaxing the saw motor and just, making life difficult for yourself. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up here. We're going to take a few slabs off of this, square the sides up, work it down. This is part of the video that you'll be seeing on the channel here, repairing the logging sleds. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about this jig beforehand. These are convenient and useful. If you need odd-sized timbers, like if you're repairing an old barn, or if you're doing any kind of timber framing, anything like that, and you just need a simple squared timber, these attachments are very handy. Like I say, I've had a couple different versions over the years, and if I don't want to bother throwing something on my sawmill, or if I want something squared out in a hurry in the woods, anything like that, these are worth the money. It takes a little bit setting up to get them squared out, get your initial cut made. Once you get a flat face on the beam, it's a lot easier moving forward from there. And if you watch our video on repairing the logging sleds, you're going to see this in action. But all in all, if you're turning out a small amount of lumber, and like I say, if you need odd size stuff for fencing or repairing a building or anything like that, these are worth their money. Okay, there we are.